This week on the podcast, we are joined by the Brotakus Anime Club podcast. We've got a bunch of games to talk about, including a new My Hero Academia mobile game. We have, I lost it here. Where's my notes? We're riffing.
We're in the riff zone. We're riffing. This is improv. You're loving it. You're loving the words we're saying. No one's noticing anything. Everything's going fine.
And a new Destiny raid. Roll the intro.
I got so confused because I had the audio on the actual podcast turned up to a smidge, so I heard an echo, and that's why I went.
Where am I?
Hello and welcome to Next to Nothing, a podcast for gamers on a budget. I am your host, Danny K. With me, as always, the wonderful, the beautiful, the Mr. Green. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. I had a rough start to my day, but I'm here, and I'm ready to talk stuff, including Destiny. I'm back on Destiny.
Oh,
so how you doing, Danny?
I'm doing good. Other than apparently losing my fucking mind, which is, normal, I'm good. With us this week, it's the powerful, the beautiful, it's the Revspen. Padre, how you doing?
Doing better, man. I know I've been gone for a couple of weeks. I spent some time alone in the woods drawing shadow people with charcoal while a horse shit outside the front door of my camper, which led to an immaculately bad fly problem. And I almost burned my house down today, so there's that. But yeah, I'm doing great.
A lot of that sounds fake, but I guarantee you all it is real.
Every bit of it.
100%. 100%.
So with us this week, like I said, it's the Brotakus Anime Club podcast. We have Pax and Henry. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourself, starting with Pax. How you doing?
I am doing well. What is up, y'all? I am Pax. I am doing well because it is a beautiful, warm day. I'm with the homies from Next to Nothing. I got my stuffed animals behind me, some incense burning. What could be wrong with today? Henry, how are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking. We are the part of the Brotakus Anime Club podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Brotakus Anime Club. Or Brotaku's podcast. You can find me personally. I'm at Shankity Stick, like a stick with which you would shank someone. You can find me on Twitter or Letterboxd. Pax, how you doing?
I'm doing good, and I am at Pax Lillin. That is Lillin. You could check out our podcast on every major podcasting app. You could check that out on YouTube. And really, what we're all about, we're a show about why Goku should lose custody of his kids and debating which Naruto character has a WAP. We are about snorting lines of G Fuel, just real degenerate shit. And so come aboard. We have awesome guests on all the time, and we are extremely honored to be guesting here on Next to Nothing today with Rev Green and Danny. I am so hyped for today.
Can I take
1000%.
a fucking second to point out just how amazing that plug was? Like, that may be the best guest plug we've ever had.
Seamless.
It's
We all
also
on our grind.
It's also the most accurate. I got to tell you guys, I found you guys through like a Facebook group that I'm in, like the podcaster support group. I think somebody in your group posted in there.
Posted this there, yeah.
So I listened to the show and I'm like, this sounds exactly like how me and my friends talk about anime.
I do have one.
This is fucking fantastic. Yeah, Rev.
So like just to be 100% upfront about this, the Brotakus Anime Club is nothing like the Doki Doki Literature Club, right? Like, I can't go through that shit again.
No, although we might have a interesting interview with the creator of Doki Doki coming in the pipeline at some point.
Oh, looky there. Look at that. We continue there you go. Boom. That's a selling point.
Fun fact. The other...
I want to tell that guy to fuck himself.
Well, Henry, maybe give some context.
I'll to give you a little bit of context, the other... I'm like one of the two social media managers. The other one is also my roommate and used to date him. Is very old friends with him. They like went to the same high school. The main girl from Doki Doki Literature Club is based off of my best friend Anna.
Mm-hmm.
No shit.
Small worlds, dude.
Yeah, and so listen to Anna, featured on many episodes of Brotaku's Literature Club, and that's really what we're all about. We love anime so much that we want to literally fuck the concept of it, and so that's how much we were part of the game. We were born on the streets. You are a hobbyist. We have lived in this shit, man.
Yeah, so check them out. Link in the description. Green put a link out in the live chat right now. So check them out. It is a fantastic show.
If we do say so ourselves.
Oh, I will gladly fillet you guys right now on how good the show is. We can do that.
I've seen him do it. It's pretty hot.
Check out the Next to Nothing OnlyFans opening up next week.
We appreciate all of you guys for watching and listening. If this is your first time with us, we hope you guys enjoy the show and get a lot of value out of it. If you guys miss any part of the show, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Each week we do have a question of the week, and brought to you by our friends here. Our question of the week is, what game would you make your worst enemy play? You get to tie them up in a chair. I think Pax's description was you get to staple them to a chair.
Yeah, whichever way you adhere them to the place that their butt is, your choice there. But they got to complete this game, and you force them to do it. They got to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
insult to injury, super glue on bear skin.
Ooh,
leather chair.
Rough.
You're evil.
Basically the same thing.
Fucking evil. So go on ahead and let us know in the live chat right now, what game would you make your worst enemy play? You can tweet at us. You can tweet at me at DannyK, DANIECAE. You can also let us know in the YouTube comments down below. Other than that, I think that's all the housekeeping we need to get out of the way. Let's talk about My Hero Academia, the strongest hero mobile game.
Yes, let's.
This is a fucking game.
Is it though? Is it really?
So, My Hero Academia, The Strongest Hero is a free-to-play action role-playing game available on Android and iOS devices. The premise of the game is that you are the manager of a hero agency in the universe of My Hero Academia, and you help assign your favorite My Hero Academia characters to missions and play those missions out in 3D combat. I was able to get roughly 3 hours of gameplay in. I'm kind of curious what you guys got in.
I think I got, in total, I played a little bit yesterday and a little bit today. I think I got about 2 hours with the thing.
I'm probably like 3-4 hours. And important context here is this game is like 6 days old now, or is it just a week now?
Yeah.
It's a little baby.
Yeah, it's not a very old game. Literally, so it's actually, was kind of just serendipity that our guests run an anime podcast, and a major anime game comes out on mobile devices, because I saw it, I'm subscribed to IGN on YouTube, and I saw the official release trailer, and I'm like, oh, there's a new mobile game for My Hero Academia? Sure, let's talk about this. It works out really well. So that wasn't planned necessarily that we had these guys on to talk about My Hero Academia. Green, you got your hands on it too?
Yeah, I downloaded it. I played a little bit of it. I think I'm technically out of the tutorial now, but that's about as far as I got. I mean,
it'll just keep throwing up new things.
Yeah, yeah.
Feature creep,
it was
great.
Yeah, I'm not a mobile game player as it is, and it didn't throw me that much to continue playing. So.
Well, have any of you really sunk deep into a mobile game? Found yourself enraptured for a while? This game was your shit?
Oh, don't say that, because Danny will bring up Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links.
That was gonna be my answer.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Currently working on Dark Magician deck right now.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Have you spent a lot of money on that, or are you free to play?
Free to play, entirely free to play. What happened was a major storm passed over my area back last August, and I had kind of started playing again, but the storm had knocked out my internet for 3 weeks, so I had nothing but my phone, and so I dove head first.
I'm talking about balls deep.
Yeah. So, back to My Hero Academia's The Strongest Hero. The game currently has 21 UA students, pro heroes, and villains to choose from. Battles take place in small arenas against a variety of villains and robots, sometimes with extra conditions, such as protecting hostages. Each character, like any standard ARPG or beat-em-up, has their own specific set and style of gameplay. The 3 characters I've been able to get my hands on include Izuku, Kaminari, and Kirishima. I'm assuming, did you guys get those characters as well?
Those are
Yeah.
like the 3 starters. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
main
I didn't even
boy,
get that
lightning boy, and
Rock
hardened
boy.
Hard boy and hard boy.
So Izuku is like quick hits, lots of combos, and then backs off. Right? That's his gameplay style. Kirishima he's a tank. He likes to tank those hits. He likes to counter strike and punish enemies that get too close. Kaminari is like ranged DPS. He likes to like set up chain attacks that like go between enemies. He also likes to punish enemies that get too close with like AoE attacks, which he's the center of. So there's different styles of each of these characters. When it comes to the combat, I'll be straight honest, I found it to be kind of garbage. It would work well with a controller. But playing on a standard iPhone 10, the screen feels way too small for this kind of gameplay.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say about the combat. I thought it had like some potential. I noticed all the different fighting styles. There were some interesting like super objectives you could go towards in each fight, like get hit less than 20 times, finish with over 30% of your health, etc., etc., etc. And then the like 4th fight that I played, they introduced the auto battle button, and now I have not touched the combat ever since. It's just like I hate to say it, the computer is much better at playing this game than I am. It gets every single achievement for me.
You can't press the "I don't want to have fun" button and blame the game for you pressing it, dude. Like maybe it shouldn't be there, but
To be fair, I wasn't having fun to begin with, but
all right, Rev, did you like the combat, man?
I didn't fucking play the game.
Green, did you like the combat?
I didn't really care for the combat. I thought it was really
Axe,
jumpy.
did you like the combat?
Yes, dude, I did. But like y'all are pro gamers. I know this is next to nothing, but you have mad taste. I am the type where like my brain is too powerful, so I need to dull it down occasionally with games like this. And so whether it's playing a clicker game like Cookie Clicker or Adventure Capitalist or the potato farming game, or I did AFK Arena for a little bit, One Piece Treasure Cruise, the Fire Emblem Heroes game, these games are without a doubt like just the worst garbage tier, terrible. It's as bad as you can make a game, like utility wise. And so compared to that, the combat in this, oh my gosh, it was like manna from heaven, man. It was like I was just sipping on ambrosia. It was so good. This is the Hades of shitty mobile games.
Yeah. Well, I will say I didn't dislike the combat. I just feel like it's clunky because I'm playing on on an iPhone, right? And so I'm like I want more space. I want like to be able to do things, and like adjusting the camera, like.
I didn't even realize you could until like 5 minutes before I stopped playing last time.
Like, so
it's just not very intuitive.
Yeah, like my biggest complaint about combat really is like I didn't notice an auto lock on feature, right? Like if I wanted to just keep an enemy in my field of view, I didn't see a button that would just do that. Like I think Devil May Cry has that, right? Or some other games where it's like
a lot of character action games have that sort of thing.
Yeah, where you're just focused on one enemy. Which would make things a lot easier to like just manage in the battles. So the kind of getting back into like the missions and stuff. Some missions will require more than one hero, so you can build up squads and deploy them, which is why you would want multiple characters in a squad. And so you'll get a map, and then it'll be like, hey, there's a battle over here. Select which hero you want to get, and then it'll auto path you all the way there. There is like an energy system, so like if you get like your ass kicked in a fight and barely make it through, like you're not going to be able to use that character in your next fight in the mission. Mm-hmm. There is co-op missions with other players. I haven't been able to get my hands on it yet. Did you guys get your hands on that at all?
A little bit. Like, you just sort of load into a lobby, and there are like different flavors of them. There's some cooperative, there's some competitive, there's like a thing where you just wail on a guy with 50 hit bars, all 3 of you that loaded in together. There's like versus, there's like this team battle thing where you just load up the team that you have and send it away. It felt the same to me because I was already doing auto battle, but that is strictly auto battle. It's sort of like a Dota auto chess type thing. It's like a very fully featured mobile game. It's just all very shallow.
Yeah. There's that PvP mini auto battler. There's a dorm room system, like where you can like manage the characters' dorm rooms.
It's like decorating something.
It reminded me of. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to hit you with the assist here, Danny, because I've played many games where you start out. The fact that this game is a week old blows my mind, because every level, and maybe Green, you could back me up, you get access to 5 new features of the game. And so it's like, you've leveled up. Now young Midoriya, you can go to the dorm, and you can eat sushi, and you could do push-ups, and you could go wash your balls, and you could go for a run. And like, every level is like 5 new completely different things. It's overwhelming. Henry, the fact that you just said that there were like 9 different co-op modes and things like that, along with the fact that you can buy supplementary gear and deck out your dorm room and give everyone their own dorm, and also go to, like, if these were slowly introduced over like 2-3 years, you could get like a hold of it. But as it is now, it's like, this thing is so overwhelming. I feel really put off from even like picking it up another day.
I think it's really riding on like Genshin Impact's coattails. A lot of the structure is very similar from what I played of that game. The like open world element of it is there. It has all of the same like umbrellas that Genshin Impact has, but there's just less underneath all of them, and they don't do as much.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's, I don't know, this game feels like it took like the Genshin Impact like combat almost, and then Fallout Shelter, and like crammed Fallout Shelter in there, and then took an auto chess battler and just shoved that in there, and then
y'all are really making me want to play this game. Jesus Christ!
It just shoves, like, you're like, Pax, the way you described it, it's like it's overwhelming and off-putting. Like, really described it for me.
Like in the old Roman, like, decadent hedonist bacchanalias, when they had the orgies in the streets, this would be the mobile game they would invent. Things where it's like, oh yes, anything your heart can desire, whether it's auto chess, oh, you want a dorm room, you want to create sushi, you want to do push-ups, you want to wash your balls, like, you want access to 22 heroes and 9,000 different rewards tracks. Like, it's just, it's like at a buffet, but it feels like it's just being shoved down your mouth. Like they're trying to make mobile game foie gras in my liver and being force-fed all this shit. It's nuts.
I just want to point out that was a string of sentences I don't think I would ever have heard.
Brand new shit.
Very true.
Yeah.
True.
So
snap, new sentences dropping.
Yeah, you mentioned like Harvard level shit there.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Those are some big words there, buddy.
So like, there was like a bit of this game where I was trying to figure out, like, is this a good game? Is this a game worth trying? And like, at its core, it's not bad, right? Like, the combat isn't bad. Like, the gameplay loop isn't bad. It's passable. You know, the game functions. You know, the game functions. It doesn't crash, and it's not like it was misadvertised or anything like that, so I can't dock it there. But it's like the UI, the resources, the way the information is presented, it's so insane and mind-boggling that it turned me off. Like, like I got like 2 hours into it 2 hours into my 3 hours of gameplay, and I'm like, oh, it's just going to keep directing me to hit different UI elements, and I'm never going to remember what all these different like menus are. Like, there's multiple skill trees for each character. There's like
there's skills, and there's talents, and there's resonance, and there's gear, and there's levels, and there's just a million different. There's like 100 different currencies that you can acquire through gameplay, and they each do a different thing.
And I was just saying, like, every menu, there's an option to pay money almost.
Oh, of course.
Which,
like, that's what I'll say. This isn't like, while there is some fun gameplay in this is not a game. This is a money extraction scheme with like good marketing
and a good IP.
And
Yeah.
that is 100% fair. A very good IP with like good branding around it.
Yeah,
I mean, they needed a
stylish
new
and all.
Pokemon Go.
Mm,
A little bit.
yeah,
What were you gonna
yeah.
say, Pax?
Oh, just when you're ready, I do have the list of battle passes and reward tracks and things like that for when you're ready.
Dude, I didn't even write that down, so I'm glad you did. Let's go.
Well, so I need to like make it clear that the level of monetization in this game is like if they hired the inventor of loot boxes and just locked him in a room for a month with nothing but like a bottle of Ritalin and 5 grams of crystal meth. I've never seen anything even like a third of this in any other game. And I'm the type of smooth brain that goes to these games to like numb myself permanently because these games are not for you to have fun. They're for you to feel a little to like deaden the pain after your 9 to 5 is like the purpose of these mobile games. And in terms of the battle pass system, what I did was Danny hit on this brilliantly where you're literally going through I think it's like what 20 different menus and submenus all like located in different areas and you have no idea what points where, right, Danny?
Yeah. The amount of times I accidentally ended up in a menu is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's nuts. And so most games, even like AFK Arena and some of these really popular kind of just like auto mobile games, they will have like 2 maybe 3 like weekly deal passes where you buy the thing and it unlocks something every day. And I want to throw this out to Rev. Rev, how many weekly passes would you guess that My Hero has, hearing how we're talking about it?
I have no idea.
What number would feel outrageous to you in your gut where you'd be like, that's way too many. I can't even touch that.
I mean, honestly, with the way I've been talking about the game, like 2 would feel outrageous. Like 1 would feel outrageous.
The number 2 is involved in this. Danny, can I do the breakdown of the multiple weekly passes you could buy?
By all means.
This is insane.
Well, next to nothing, homies. You can buy the monthly supply pack deal, the weekly card deal, the weekly hero coin pack, the weekly sugar rush pack, the weekly trainer supply box, the training plan pass, the security elite permit, the ultra pass, the plus ultra pass, the first top up bonus track, the monthly card special pass, the weekly card special pass, the battle recruit elite permit, the co-op battle weekly offers, of which there are 6, and the warehouse market pack for a total of 22 possible weekly passes and tracks that you can pay for.
Fuck out of here.
22.
Breathe, Pax, breathe.
We out here harpooning whales.
It's unbelievable. And like having this many makes me so like if I wanted to drop a little money on a game, I'd be so much less likely to because like if a game said, hey, if you could pay $5 a month and like you can catch up with like where most people are, that'd be fine. But if there's 22 of them, I'm like, which is way less. I'm overwhelmed. It blows my mind. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. So
I'm gonna submit a Yelp review.
There's actually a subplot in an anime that I'm watching where the character's life is ruined by gachapon mobile games. There's this guy that really wants to get this rare dodo, and the second he gets it, he gets hit by a car and breaks his phone, and then he doesn't care that he got hurt. He just wants to fix his phone to find it. And when he finds out that the phone hadn't saved this ultra rare dodo that he'd been looking for, he vows to murder the cab driver that almost killed him. It is these sort of like monetization schemes are designed to just get deep under your skin and like suck out your marrow.
Yeah, it's abuse, man. It's unethical game practices.
yeah. So
I guess it could always be loot boxes.
They have those too.
They have those?
yeah.
Of course. How do you think you get the 21 different characters? You pull them from random drops.
Yeah. There's like the chat, like global chat system. It'll be like this person just unlocked like Shinzo or something like that. Lucky Ducky. So it's like trying to get you to go into the loot box system so you can unlock your 21 different characters. Which I'm just like, I just want a cute, a cute costume for Momo. That's all I want.
And not a single one of those weekly passes gives you tickets to buy. It's a fully separate thing. It's like it's parody. It's insane. Oh, I hate this.
It is, yeah, it's absolutely insane. So Let me just ask.
I don't think we've ever had anything on our show like a game get absolutely fucking driven to the ground the way this one is.
Well, like,
Oh, I don't know.
consider the concept of your show. You're a show about gaming on a budget, and this game is designed to destroy your entire budget.
And some.
Yeah.
And some.
I think the only game that's ever gotten this kind of derision has probably been Raid Shadow Legends.
No, we did have one other. We did have
That
one
arcade game. That
Yeah, the
like,
one that they were.
arcade.
What was that? Oh shit! That
We
was from
shit on that guy.
what was that one called? It was like a battle royale style one.
Oh, the culling?
Culling.
Yeah.
Yeah, where we
version.
shat
that
all
one.
over the culling after they tried to do an update.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was.
It was literally pay to play after you already downloaded the game.
Now, here's the thing. I don't want to toot our horn, but after we absolutely fucking destroyed that game on this show, the CEO of the company that published it or developed it and the company itself have not tweeted. That was like a year and a half ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got called out. Shut 'em
Yeah.
down.
Well, and I found out about that through Mellow Online. So I do want to kind of maybe put a bow on this and just be and ask, is this a game worth playing? And I'll kind of go here in like from the standpoint, like, right, if we get past the monetization, this game feels like it's made for somebody whose primary gaming device is their mobile phone, right? They don't have a console. They don't have a living room box of any kind. They don't have a PC. They have an Android or an iOS tablet or phone. And that's their primary gaming device. And that's the kind of person I think this game is meant for. Like in terms of how like the combat is made, the amount of just sheer content and mind you, shallow content, right? It's not very deep, but there's just a lot here for somebody, and I think that somebody is someone who doesn't have a living room box or a desktop or a laptop or something along those lines. I think
that's
a good point.
totally true. It's like shockingly fully featured for a game of this scale. And so if you want to have this like wide breadth of experiences with one game, I guess you could do a lot worse.
Yeah. So that's the kind of person I think this game is meant for. I'm not going to come back to it. It's probably going to get deleted off my phone tonight after this show. But let me ask you guys, is this a game that's worth trying? I'll go to Pax first.
Yeah, okay, so this is where, and I'll try to keep it as quick as possible. I had a straight up eldritch horror experience with this game. It was like some H.P. Lovecraft looking into the mouth of a long dead god as I was driven insane, as I went absolutely crazy. And it's just because I don't think you knew that I did this, but y'all know how there are separate login rewards. Like you go to one screen, you like get a reward here, you get a reward there, right? So at this point, I'm now going to ask, of those tracks, and you saw so many of them, like Danny, how did you get the sense that there were in this game? Going to the separate submenus and rewards tracks were like, hey, you did progression, a new thing unlocks, go get your treat, go press the login button here. How many separate screens like that would you guess that there are?
Oh God, I think there's probably there's got to be 20 of them, right?
Danny, you are off by almost like a magnitude.
There
of
was
the
like
reward tracks. Do you want? I have them all.
Yeah.
If I try to get this done in a minute, can I do that?
Oh yeah. No, you're good. Go for it.
So of the separate rewards tracks that you can go, and this is completely separate from the battle passes. That's a different thing that you got to click on every day to get your goodies. These are not automatically delivered to your box. You got to go click login or click that you get the rewards on every one of these. There is the contribution exchange, the supporters gift, the weekly contribution target challenge quests, the contribution awards, the first top-up bonus track, the peacekeeping rewards track, the trial guidance bonus track, the hero trial assemble bonus track, the trainee benefits bonus track, the full blow operation bonus track, the cumulative consumption bonus track, the login rewards, the daily sign-in rewards, the hero supply awards, the sponsorship awards, the monthly card benefit awards, the weekly card benefit awards, the attendance rewards, the dormitory rewards, the hero daily quests, the super co-op battle track, the hero commissions rewards, the hero daily quest rewards, the super co-op battle rewards, rewards, the daily target reward track, the weekly target reward track, the level target reward track, the hero BP ranking rewards track, the super co-op battle rewards track, the arena point rankings rewards track, the total BP rankings rewards, the agency assessment rewards track, the hero ratings awards track, and then the entrance handbook reward track, for which there are 40 separate screens and submenus, 40 separate rewards tracks on those, for a total of 74 that I could find at this moment. This is beyond the pale, man. This is if I wrote a parody, I would make it half as extreme. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I think you meant it's beyond plus ultra.
Got him.
That's the only reason I'm here.
Oh, golly. Also, Pax, the lungs on you. The lungs.
Look at the game just as an example of like what not to do, or this is like a The Room by Tommy Wiseau level disaster. This is
it's so brilliant in how insidious it is, because by having all those rewards tracks, something is constantly popping. So no matter what you're doing, there's always going to be some little dopamine hit to pull you back in and just keep you re-engaging. It's truly insidious. It's
a virtual casino, right? It's like designed
100%.
to keep you in there as long as possible, so you spend more money. It's got a casino design all over it.
I would like to point out that I just Googled MHA strongest hero reviews, and one of the first ones is from noisypixel.net. It just said, My Hero Academia, the strongest hero, is not a good game. Just like, that's the title of the whole article.
Good choice, Screen. Good choice.
Good choice.
Oh, bro. I'm going to uninstall this on camera right now, man.
Let's just do it all as a team.
Yeah,
Teamwork.
Boom,
I'm way ahead of you,
get
sorry.
out. I will not be abused. I am worth more than this.
Henry, what do you think?
I think you should, instead of playing one free game that's going to steal all of your money, you should spend $3 on this game, Hold Down. I got it in 2019. I've played it literally every day since. It's one of the best mobile games I've ever played. It's like,
why that? But if you could spend $7,000 a week on this game, why would you buy that shit?
Yeah, this is like cost benefit analysis. Spend $3 so you don't have to spend $1,000.
Why not both?
Sure. Why not spend every dollar you've ever made?
So real quick, longtime viewer of the podcast, Zombie Potion said, "So you're saying download this game with my history of gambling addiction and addiction to gacha?"
I would also like to point out that Zombie Potion. I'm pretty sure it's gacha without the T is how they spell it in the game.
No, it's like based off of these Japanese like capsule machines called gachapons. So there's a T in like the official spelling, but they use the gacha mechanic to get you.
I made the mistake of trying to get him to re-download Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and it's been a fucking downhill slope from here. So
he's been playing with me on stream, and yeah, it's I feel bad, but also he's an adult who can make his own decisions. Let's move on. Pax, you played a game called Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion.
I have that game.
Man. Oh, you have? Have you played it yet, Green?
I haven't played it yet.
Or Rev, sorry.
I haven't played it yet. I want to, but I have it. I saw the name of it alone, haven't looked at anything else. I saw the name, I was like, I'm buying that right now.
What a phenomenal name.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And they're thinking of making a sequel called Turnip Boy Dodges the Draft, which, like, what could be better? Yeah, so what, you want me to, like, just give, like, a little recap here?
Yeah, how do you feel about the game? What's the game about? All that good shit.
Yeah, for sure. So you play a young turnip named Turnip Boy. You are the son of the late Don Turnipchino, and you live in a world that it's very Legends of Zelda aesthetics, but everything is just like a little vegetable. All your neighbors are little vegetables, and you start the game by getting your tax bill due from Mayor Onion, where it says, Turnip Boy, you owe $140,000 to the local government in taxes. You need to pay this on the document. Your only option is to rip it up, and as you rip it up, Mayor Onion is outside your house and goes, wow, Turnip boy, you just screwed yourself. You committed tax evasion. And then you spend the rest of the game trying to like pay back like Mayor Onion at first, but then you unravel the secrets of the city, and it is surprisingly deep in lore. It's one of those things that like gets very unexpected, but music gorgeous, the theme gorgeous. It's the opposite of My Hero because it's one of these great games where like as we all get older, I think that we probably all make the choice to spend our time on games that value our time a little more. At least I would hope. I'm not always that way myself, but I would way rather play like it's probably like a 3-4 hour game, Turnip Boy. You can get it on the Switch or PC, but my God, every second of it is just gorgeous and hilarious. And you're constantly ripping up government documents, and you're constantly trying to fight your way out of the carrot sewers. And it's something that not a second of it is not gorgeous and inventive and really cool. So you can find it on the stores. I think it's like $10-15, but worth every penny. Highly recommend Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion.
Yeah, I've got some stats here for you. So, yeah, so it's currently on Steam retailing for $14.99, so $15. It has been on sale. The last time it was on sale was April 22nd of this year for $12. It was a 20% mark off. The game, let's see, I think that's the only time it's been on sale because it is a fairly recent release. If anyone is interested in playing it, the minimum specs, first off, it's available on Windows, Mac OS, and Steam OS. For Windows, requires a 64-bit processor, an operating system, Windows 10, or, just Windows 10. 1.2 gigahertz processor, Intel Core i5 and up, 1 gig RAM, a DirectX 10, 11, or 12 compatible card. DirectX 10 is what it runs on, and 600 megabits of space available on your hard drive.
Oh, God, that'll bog you down.
It's terribly bogging you down, yeah.
If you're going to use up that much space, just download Warzone. So that way you can be pissed all the time like Green.
All the time, just angry all the time.
How's your blood pressure doing, by the way?
I actually haven't played that game in over a week now, and I am doing fantastic.
His stress levels are going down, guys.
Practically zen.
Yeah, I have hit Nirvana. I have ascended. So
yeah. So yeah, the art style is very cute. You said the music was great?
It's unbelievable, and it's really curbs your expectations because at a certain point there is a kind of sub dungeon that has this like lo-fi hip hop style thing, and then another like hip hop soul beat, and then it goes vaporwave. It's something where they clearly hired a really talented multi-dynamic composer for this because it switches up its style, but it never feels out of place. It's just always banging, man. I stand Turnip Boy. If they have a plush, I am absolutely going to get one because it's a great game.
Yeah, so I have one more question, then I'll open up to the rest of the guys quick. What's the replayability of the game? Like, is there like a new game plus where there's more things to discover or things get harder?
Nada. One and done. You got to rip up every government document in the game to get it. So like you could speed through it in like 2 hours. It's probably like 3 hours to 100% it. But yeah, afterwards, if you go back in, there'll be like a galactic cat that told you if you miss anything. But for gamers of your caliber, boys, it would be pretty hard to miss anything. It's a very accessible game, not very challenging. It's all about the experience and fun. If you have a non-gamer in your life, that's like I think the ideal person to play it with. Just plop it down, play some Turnip Boy, watch him rip up the deed to somebody's farm, and just have a great time. It's awesome.
You know, it's a great libertarian fantasy to just rip up government documents. I think I'm gonna go for it.
For sure.
It's an indie game, so I'm there. That's the indie games are my bread and butter, so I'm all about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I even have a sticker that says "Indie games make me moist" with a soaking wet chair right here on my wall.
Really?
Yeah. So that wasn't your only game, though, right? You also played. Is it pronounced Gnosia?
Yeah. So I'll make it a quick plug. Y'all have played like Mafia or Werewolf, maybe? Are you familiar with those games?
Yeah.
Yeah, those deception style games, those are awesome.
Yeah, and so some YouTube videos have been like, this is like if Among Us was a visual novel, but it's really more that you're trapped on a ship, and this is another thing with a devastatingly gorgeous vaporwave soundtrack, and you're trapped on a spaceship, and talking with other people, visual novel style, really unique, cool characters. There's a talking whale, a guy with a cat growing out of his neck. And just look up the art style for Gnosia because it's really chilling. It's Gnosia. And so you go through basically a game of Mafia, figuring out who is the Gnosia on the ship, the hidden human who's been possessed by this strange intergalactic force. As you finish the game, it loops back to the start of the day. But oh my God, there's different people on the ship, and it loops back and it loops back and it loops back. Really interesting game. If you love games of deception, if you love visual novels, it's something that gamifies the visual novel in an interesting way, unpacks a lot of really fascinating ideas. I've never seen anything even tried like this. It's a super unique structure, and so they don't stick the landing totally. Game definitely could be like 5 hours shorter. You could probably cut out a bunch of loops there at the end, but very satisfying. If it's your type of thing, if you dig the art style, if you dig games of deception, I highly recommend.
Excellent. Let me find real quick exactly how much it costs. It is for the Nintendo Switch, and it is on Steam as well. Let's see.
I love the focus on price and affordability. I think that's like so overlooked and like necessary to kind of put out there for people.
I appreciate that.
You can't buy it on Steam right now.
No, it is not available on Steam right now.
It is coming soon.
Coming soon. What is it for the Nintendo Switch?
It's $25 on the Switch right now.
Okay, and would you say that $25 is acceptable, or is this like a wait for a sale kind of thing?
Great question. Wait for a sale. Totally wait for a sale.
Gotcha.
Fair.
The art style is gorgeous. I didn't show anything on the stream yet, but it has a really interesting and unique art style, kind of with like there's a word that I'm looking for, but I can't remember.
Give me some details.
Like it's a Japanese like aesthetic, not geisha, the kind of hip hoppy aesthetics that like very Tokyo specific, I think.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. It's sort of those
like techwear
sort of lips are very distinctive.
Yeah, and yet this is made by a group in the UK. Actually, it's not a hypersexualized like Japanese product. It is really well made.
Yeah, it does kind of have like
Playism published it. Playism has published a lot of really good games. They did like Omori and a bunch of other ones that I've covered. Yeah, I'm big fan of a lot of the stuff they do. They also did Deer Simulator, so there's that. Now, granted, that's just the publisher, but
yeah,
the aesthetic to me kind of almost has like a little bit of a Japanese leaning, similar to those ones I played from Novabox, like Across the Grooves and Sears Isle and all those. It's got a very similar aesthetic to those, but with more of a Japanese kind of like like that kind of like techno punk style that that you see.
And
it's really gorgeous.
Yeah, and the illustrations, I want to say they look watercolor or maybe pastel, but the illustrations are done gorgeously as well too. The art quality is insane. That looks fantastic. Looking at our time here, was there anything else that we wanted to mention about Gnosia?
Nope, that's it. That is all good. We should definitely move on because got a lot of good ground to cover.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you guys want to take a break and then we can come back?
I would like that because I could air out this damn room. It's like a 95 degrees in here right now.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, we'll take a 2-minute break. We'll be right back.
Are you a coffee lover? Do you need a little pep in your step in the morning? What about knowing where your coffee comes from? Is that important? Well, try Grampian Roast Coffee on Etsy. That's Grampian, Grampian, and see our selection of single origin and blended coffees. Use code REVSVEN, REVSVEN, at checkout to save 15% off of your purchase.
All right, we are back. Thank you guys for letting us take that break. And Henry,
Yes.
you have a game that you would like to talk about, and it's a game that's actually been kind of tearing up like Twitter and Twitch a little bit recently.
Yeah, to take like a complete and total left turn from all of Pax's cute little indie games, I have been playing the biggest, ballsiest AAA release of the season. I have been playing a bunch of Returnal. It's really, really good. I've been really, really enjoying it. It's like a third-person shooter, arcade-ish roguelite game for the PS5. It's from Housemarque Studios, who you may know from like Resogun and other sort of like modern arcade-style titles. You play as a woman named Celine, who is an astronaut who crash lands onto this strange, hostile alien planet, and the first thing she finds after she steps out of her crashed spaceship is her own corpse. And she continues to explore this world, and every time you die, you come back to life right back where you were. And the atmosphere is so intense. Like, it does not take very much to kill you in this game. You have to be operating at, like, peak effectiveness to progress, because like a few hits will take you out, and so you're constantly like white knuckling through the entire game. It is an intense experience, but since one of my favorite games is Sekiro, it's the sort of thing I've been looking for.
Yeah, so you mentioned it's like a roguelite, and when you die, you lose everything, right? You lose all your items, you lose all your progress.
Yeah, like as you are playing through, you're collecting like a currency, you're increasing your proficiency with every kill, so every time you level up your proficiency, every weapon you find from then on out has better stats and more abilities attached to it, and you're collecting like consumable items and all sorts of stuff, and when you die, it's gone. You start again with the starter pistol and nothing else.
So, like, one thing with like roguelites, obviously, or roguelikes or lights, I think we've had this discussion several times on what the difference is, and I never remember. The like frustration is like a part of the game. Do you find yourself getting like super frustrated with this game, like where like you like start throwing shit, or like is this like a good frustration where it's like, you know what, that was an understandable death? Let's start from the beginning.
It is mostly good frustration. Like, I really want to be progressing. I feel like I'm getting better with every run, except for this one fucking drone enemy. There's this one guy, and I have not figured out how to kill him after playing this game for like 15 hours so far. He shoots these tracking missiles, and he dive bombs you, and he releases these shockwaves. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this guy.
Yeah.
And, like, the worst part is they always spawn like 5 of them at once.
Have you taken the wise words of Patches O'Houlihan in the 5Ds of Dodgeball?
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
I try. I'm definitely trying.
Got a couple of hookers in the room.
Mhm.
Let's celebrate.
We're just gonna start quoting Dodgeball the entire show.
I love that movie.
Absolutely, it's great.
Yeah, so then it is a PS5 exclusive.
So the specs for the game are you have to have a PS5.
Yeah, you have to have a PS5. But I was gonna ask, like, how are the controls? Like, how does everything feel with the game?
It's really cool and really interesting. It does a lot of interesting stuff with the like adaptive triggers. So it's like it's a left trigger, right trigger shooter, left trigger to zoom in, right trigger to shoot, like thousands of games. But you only pull down halfway, and it kind of catches there with the new PS5 controller, and that's zoom in. And if you pull all the way, it activates your alt fire. So it takes a little bit to get used to the way that feels. But once you do, it's like this completely different style of like controlling that you may not have experienced before.
See, that's interesting because with the PS5, I don't think we've really talked much about any of the exclusivities for the PS5, and they've always talked that was a big part of the marketing push for that console was the new DualShock controller with all the new enhancements and haptic feedback and all that stuff. That's really cool that they really did incorporate some of the aspects and features of that controller. Were there any other features that they incorporated into the game?
Well, there's a lot of like rumble stuff going on. There's a ton of like rain in the first environment, and whenever you're in the rain, there's these little pitter-patter rumbles in your hands. There's also like different sounds and like specific rumbles for when your alt fire is recharged. I don't really notice it in the heat of battle because it's like, again, very intense, requires 100% of your focus, but it's there for the those of us that can pay attention to more than one thing at a time. But I think it's mostly about the triggers for the game. That's the most like gameplay relevant.
Yeah. So I'm the game looks gorgeous. I know I've heard it before, but I don't think I've never heard it properly without like obviously like playing the game. I've heard it like through streams and stuff like that. How is the sound design? Like, does it do like the full 5.1 surround sound kind of deal?
I only have a TV. I only have like the sound coming out of my TV, but like the musical aesthetics is very like industrial electronic. It's lots of like unces and douches and bump bump bump. It's true.
Yeah.
And then all of the like different creatures, a lot of them have these like tendrils and stuff. It's very like H.R. Giger inspired art style. It's got this very oppressive intensity to the sound that like really gets you in the right headspace. And oh god, every time your character dies, she gives out the most blood-curdling scream. And you like watch her fall to the ground, and then it plays a very brief cutscene of her reincarnating and like flashes of her memories, and then you're just back into it.
Dang, that sounds like really intense.
I don't know. You had me at the music has a lot of douches in it, like that. That's where you got me. I was like, shit, I'm gonna go buy a PS5 right now if I can. If I could find one.
Oh boy, I have the weirdest story for how I got my PS5. Sony sent me an email saying, "Hey, you seem like the type of guy that wants to give us money," and I was like, "Yeah, you got me."
You'd be right, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and what, you got like a direct link to buy it?
I got a direct link to put my name into a hopper, or to like do something. Like, it wasn't click this button, buy a PS5, but it was click this button, wait for 40 minutes, get a redirect, then click a button to buy it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
With you mentioning the roguelike element, and I'm thinking of like how popular like time loops are and just death and Hades, like I'm wondering if roguelikes are experiencing a renaissance because all of us in like millennials and Gen Z people want to die so badly that like being able to experience like 75 deaths an hour is just like peak catharsis.
There's something there.
I think it's an allegory for our corporate lives, in which every day
we die a little more inside.
Every day we die a little bit more inside. We in struggling in the Sisyphean tasks that is corporate life.
See, you bring the fancy Roman words too, Danny. You got it.
Oh yeah, I got my edumacation.
There's something very cathartic to bashing your head against a brick wall.
Yeah. There is something quite cathartic about being disintegrated by alien tentacles 14 times a play session. Very
yes.
Yes.
So what you're telling me is, judging from the sound of the way you describe that, cathartic just means kinky.
Hey baby, let's get cathartic tonight.
Gonna get cathartic on that ass.
So aesthetically, by the way, I was looking at this. It reminds me of Alien, of the Alien series.
Very much so. Like I mentioned, H.R. Giger. He is the guy that designed the Xenomorph. He has a lot of artwork that is like directly referenced in Returnal, with corpses being built into architecture and like dark technology encroaching on the human body. Every time you find like an alien artifact that'll give you a new ability, Celine, the character, will like slowly but surely touch it to her suit and then like seize up as it digs its claws into her body.
Hot.
There's a lot of that like dark, industrialized vibe going on.
Yeah. I have one more question, then then we might need to wrap it up on Returnal. But so it is, one of those fabled $70 games.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? Is this a game like if you have a PS5? Is this a for sure pickup right now, or is this a wait and see? Wait for a sale.
I'm conflicted about it because while I'm definitely having $70 worth of fun, I can imagine so many people bouncing off of it after 1 hour and not enjoying it. I really wish they had a demo available or some way to test it to see if you really were interested. I would recommend most people like do your research, look at some gameplay videos, see if it's the sort of thing you would enjoy. But if it doesn't immediately hook you to look at it, I would 100% wait for a sale. There's also been some complaints about how you can't really pause a run. You can put your PS5 into rest mode, but if you turn it off, you will lose all the progress you made in the run so far. And these are pretty long runs. If you're going from the first area all the way to like the final boss, that can take you 2 hours as opposed to like Hades, one of the most popular roguelikes right now, where a full run will take you maybe 30 minutes. You got to really be committed. So I would recommend most people be a little bit cautious with this.
Yeah, if only there used to be a magazine like Tips and Tricks, that you could get a demo disc on, add all the popular games on it, and that you never actually bought games, you just play the same demos for hours.
Yeah, that's why they stopped doing them.
I miss those.
I do have a quick question.
Sure.
Do you foresee the interactive controller being pushed more with PlayStation 5? Because I remember when I first got my PS4, I picked up Infamous Second Son, which was a fantastic game. My least favorite part of the game was doing the spray
painting.
Yeah, so like I have the PlayStation 4 controller. You had to like shake the controller to mimic a spray can, and then you had to hold it like sideways and like click it like you're actually spraying a spray can. So like, do you think it's evolved from that, and that it's something you'd actually like to see in the game, like going forward in
I think
in future games?
there's like actual utility in it. The like adaptive trigger thing took a little bit of time for me to get used to, but now it's like you never have to move your finger off of the button. You're like fully plugged into it. So I don't see it being very useful for every game out there. I don't expect that to be the way that every like I don't think Call of Duty is going to do it anytime soon, but I think if you start developing your game with that in mind, there are a lot of really interesting things you can do with it.
Awesome.
All right.
That's
Return.
fantastic. So yeah, from one space adventure to another. Green. Destiny 2, Vault of Glass.
Yeah, so Destiny released the new season, Season of the Splicer, and it was actually introducing a old but new raid back into Destiny 2. Vault of Glass was the raid from Destiny 1. I believe it was the first raid. It's like the raid that is like coined the raid that saved Destiny. Because before that there was no raid. And like the concept of a raid is they throw you into this whole mission, or that they don't tell you what to do. They give zero instruction. It's you and 5 other people. You have to figure out how to do each task to complete it. You get loot at the end, etc., etc. I've seen a lot of people who have gotten upset that they're actually releasing Vault of Glass back into Destiny 2, simply because Destiny has had a track record of essentially reskinning content and putting it back into the game as new content. So when I played it, because I never played Destiny 1, I had a lot of fun with it. We tried for a day 1 clear. We weren't expecting to be the first people to beat it because, of course, it's an old raid. A lot of experienced players have played it before on Destiny 1. I've never played it before. The experience was interesting. They did change up some mechanics from what I've heard from veteran D1 players. They added a few things, changed very very small details to where it's fresh and still challenging for players. Um, but there's not much to it in terms of like what's new for Destiny. I do see like a lot more people playing Destiny right now because of this new old raid.
Nold.
Nold. They also had that new season, which is just a small storyline, uh, battle pass driven story. That hasn't piqued my interest at all, but they did bring a few weapons back that are rewards only in the Vault of Glass raid, and that would be like Fatebringer, which was a hand cannon back in Destiny 1 that was apparently extremely overpowered. And a few new weapons that I'm aware of: a shotgun, um, a scout rifle, and then I believe it's an LMG called the Vex Mythoclast. I haven't received those rewards, so I will hopefully be able to use them in the future. But yeah, as I said, there's not much to it. Like, I don't want to sit here and explain like the whole raid and each mechanic to you. You can look on YouTube videos for that. Because the whole point of doing the raid is to work as a team to figure it out. So, but I mean, the game is always gorgeous. It's a fantastic looking game. It's currently free to play. You don't have to pay anything to play Vault of Glass. You just have to meet the level requirement. But yeah, not much to it.
I miss the old days when you could cheese Atheon in the Vault of Glass by throwing fire grenades at his feet, and he just like starts backing up, falls off the fucking cliff, and you win the raid.
You technically can still do that.
You can. They're letting you do it again, because I remember they patched it in D1 to where you couldn't do it anymore.
They said that they 21 hours before the release of the raid, they said that they found an instance where you can push bosses off the map before they even released it, and then they said that if data shows that you use that strategy during Vault of Glass to get world's first, you'd automatically be disqualified for it.
Oh,
So did they revamp this thing at all, or it's just they, let's push it from Destiny 1 to 2?
I mean, it's on the Destiny 2 engine. A few things have changed. As I said, I didn't play the Destiny 1 version. As far as I'm aware, like the Oracle encounter is different because they used to be just get shot the oracles when they appeared, and they've actually set it to where it's like a rhythm thing. So like you have to shoot them in order, and it's actually set to a certain audio tone, like an actual musical note. And you only had to do it, I think, was it 3, 4, 5, 5 times, I believe. But and then
sounds
Atheon,
like it's like lightly remixed.
Yeah, it's just enough to where, because their goal was they wanted it to be, the same raid. They wanted it to feel the same, but they wanted to add, change a few things that would make it still feel challenging to today's players. So not much different, but enough to where it actually feels challenging, especially on day one, because they had what's called the contest mode on, where no matter how high your light level was, you would still be at the level of encounter. So if you're, it's a 1300 light level. So like when you go in, if you're 1310, you're going to be dropped to 1310 or 1300. So enemies are going to hit you just as hard as if you were 1300. And that was only for the 24-hour period. So now you can go in and be over leveled and get tickled instead of murdered.
So overall, is this a good value add to Destiny 2 right now?
Well, I mean, I believe so, because it is free to play. You don't have to have the expansions to play this. So if you're a 100% free to play Destiny player, it would be a really good value for it. It gives you something to do.
I mean, and plus, you got you do got people out there that are like Green, who's like really, really in deep with Destiny, like since Destiny 2's release, but never played the Vault of Glass in the beginning. So it's kind of like kind of like gives like the newer players who have been really pouring their blood, sweat, and tears into the game an opportunity to go back and revisit a classic. Because the Vault of Glass was the very first raid, because I remember it happening, and shit, that changed everything.
It was
Yeah,
huge,
like up until then, everything people were talking about was like, I guess this game's fine, but there's like this loot cave and blah blah blah, and then Vault of Glass drop, and the entire narrative completely slipped.
Yeah, because it was like that was the biggest gripe people had with D1 was the repetitiveness of it all, and then they were like, all right, well, I mean, here's something if you want to be,
You want to be a jerk about it?
yeah, I mean, well, fuck you guys, go down here and get shit on with this gigantic myth, Vex beast, like it was
the
fun.
The Templar was pretty damn tough. That's where we got stuck at on day one. So, yeah, I consider myself like a lore nerd for Destiny. I love the story behind Destiny. So I go to like third party. Like there's a YouTuber named My Name is Bife. Love his videos because he tells the story very eloquently. So
Did they update the story in any way? Like, is there a story reason why the Vault of Glass came back, or did they just like
not that I'm aware of
content?
Yeah, not that I'm aware of it. It literally it says it's a legacy button to press to go to this raid. So as far as I'm aware, there's no story behind it. But Atheon is a time manipulating Vex mind. So I could see them actually like working that into the story, because the Vault of Glass is a time manipulation engine for the Vex. So I mean, there's always replayability that Destiny pushes for in the raids. The first Destiny 2 raid, the Leviathan raid. The reason why they said that it was so replayable, or like why you could go back in and in each week, is because, spoiler alert, if you haven't played Destiny 2 yet, done the raid, the Callus that you fight at the end of the raid is actually a robot. It's a robot copy of him. And then when you finish the raid and go to the loot box or the chest at the end, it's a haul of just Callus robots. So they've done a really good job of like showing that this is why you can replay this. Eater Worlds was the same. It's the heart of the Leviathan ship that is a Vex robot. So
I think to kind of tie back to a bit, I think part of why the roguelite genre is having such a big thing is like people have decided that they need to justify why you can respawn, and a lot of people are coming up with new and interesting story explanations for all of that. I think like developing time manipulation into your storyline is a good way to make it not just like a strictly gameplay feature.
Yeah, Destiny has done a really good job of like putting that lore in, to where like it explains why you can revive if you die, or why you can't revive in a certain area. And especially the last year of Destiny has really introduced like a lot of concepts about the story, and like time manipulation and the reason why you respawn and stuff like that. So like the lore side of the game is really what brings me back every time, instead of like the actual gameplay. But it's a gorgeous game, especially now that it's free to play. It's a gorgeous game.
In before they bring Crota's End back too.
They will.
Before they add all 37 MHA style upgrade paths.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one battle pass for now. Just one. And it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I mean, it doesn't hinder your gameplay as much. Like you just can't play, like you can't level up like certain that season's equipment and stuff like that. So there's like a little story that you can play during the season that you do have to pay the battle pass for.
So, Green, I have a question for you. Are we good on this topic?
Yeah. Unless you guys have any more Destiny related questions. No?
The only one I've got for you is: would you like to play this on a PC, a mobile PC?
Could you see this being played on like a Nintendo Switch type of device, but maybe
that would be
maybe
fantastic.
Maybe
Yeah.
powered by Steam.
I
Oh wait!
Oh wait, so real quick, because this is going to be a Green Tech Corner, and we'll play the intro here in a second. But right around 2010, there were a lot of companies trying to create a Steam-focused console that would use Linux-based OS, the Steam OS system. The Ouya was one of those notable failures, and it seems that after a while, the idea just sort of fizzled out. But
What about the NVIDIA Shield? Anybody else remember the NVIDIA Shield?
as I
That's
say,
still
yeah.
a thing. It's still a thing.
It's still out there.
But so here's the question. What if the living room box was the wrong answer to this question? What if the proper application was a Switch-like mobile console? Green, go on ahead and break down the news that Valve might be doing just that. Ars Technica broke it today. Let me play the intro real quick, though.
Green's Tech Corner.
All right, you're good.
I was gonna say I don't have a cue when that's done. But yeah, they released an article today saying that Valve was secretly building a Switch-like portable PC. So it would have your full Steam platform on there. I believe that they were saying that it was possible it was running under Linux. So like no Windows, it's the free OS Linux. And that they're thinking it might end or launch by year's end. So I mean that would be very, very left corner. We haven't gotten like a huge like actual reveal from Steam or Valve yet. There's not much that I can really like tell you what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So Sam, I believe it's Makovec, from Ars Technica broke the story, basically confirming that they've been working on it. And I do have some details that he was able to pull up.
I know they were gonna call it the SteamPal.
Yeah, which is a crappy name. I hope that's not the actual name.
I do very much hope they change it.
Well, what would you guys name something like this?
I mean, they've already got all that
Rocket.
branding with like Steam Link. I think there's something to be brought from there.
Mm-hmm.
Pocket Steam.
Pocket Link.
Pocket Link
Steamy
is kind of
trousers.
Steamy trousers. Yeah, Steam Gauge.
Steam Light.
The
Steam
Pocket
Light.
Sauna.
Pocket Sauna.
LITE.
The micro valve.
Ooh.
My
Hot
doctor says
damn.
I have one of those.
We don't need micro included in anything else. I get insulted by my wife every time we get intimate because she's like, Microsoft. I'm like, shut up.
Jeez.
Got him.
So there have been like a lot of teasers for this product for a while. Steam Database actually was able to pull some stuff out from like the Steam code itself that was alluding to some sort of handheld console. Gabe Newell teased it in a panel conversation at a school in New Zealand because apparently he's just planning on moving Valve to New Zealand. I think is like is something he's doing. It's so early in this that Makovec.
We'll call him the Big Mac. Just
Big
call him
Mac.
Big Mac.
Big Mac.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tag him. I'm gonna tag him in this and just be like, "Yo, Big Mac." He said that it's probably going to be an AMD or an Intel chip. Possibly it will also have like a USB Type-C port to dock to larger displays. And another big thing that has kind of led people to assuming that a product like this has been in the works for a while is that Valve is still pushing the entire library to be compatible with the open source softwares operating systems.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
They've been trying to get at least all of their games to for sure run on Linux, which would make sense because they have Steam OS, and if they want to have anything for a handheld PC essentially, then they'd need that. Green, sorry, I kind of took it away from you.
No, it's okay. And honestly, because I've been looking for mobile solutions for when I travel, so that are better than GeForce Now, because like GeForce Now right now is like my go-to for travel. As long as like the target price isn't like over $600, I could foresee buying this over a Nintendo Switch. Like my fiance has her Nintendo Switch, but I like the actual PC games. So
Mhm.
like I could foresee buying this as long as it's under a competitive price range, similar to the Switch.
Yeah, he
I
wants
think
to.
it's a
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think it's a really genius business decision because the number of like the Switch has some good like Nintendo games on it, but what really made it a must-have console was all of the different indie games that you could play on it. And so I think Valve was seeing that and saying, "Man, these guys are eating our lunch. We gotta get back a piece of that pie." I think it's like really, really clever. The right way to go.
I'm.
a little
Go
I'm
ahead, Bex.
skeptical. Yeah, I'm a little skeptical just because I think of like how many. I wouldn't say that like the what Nvidia Shield was that the other thing we were talking about. I wouldn't say that it's like failed in the same way that like Stadia isn't technically like defunct, but when it comes to these cloud streaming platforms and the ability to like play things on your phone or the smaller kits, I think that especially as someone who I had the Steam controller and it was actually I got mine when they were giving them out for like $5 to liquidate it. I am I kind of just wonder like what is the purpose of mobile gaming? What are the strengths of mobile gaming? And I think that it's good for there to be a competitor to the Switch, but like I'm just curious if this is going to hit the mark because especially when Green was talking price range, like their VR is already $1,000. And so I'm wondering what is their little Steam buddy going to be? Is it even going to be an effective? Because that's the thing, you got to balance. Okay, well, this is an effective pitch. You could play PC games mobily, but like, if if that makes it wind up being $1,200, like what does that mean? I'm kind of curious. What are our thoughts on like where we feel like the price range and performance is going to be?
Well,
Yeah.
my biggest thing is like as long as it's not over, $500. And my biggest concern and why I like the Steam idea is because Nintendo Switch has like a lot higher prices for games, especially Nintendo brand games.
Mm.
So like Pokemon, I bought Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu over 2 years after release, and at full price.
Yeah, Nintendo never discounts their own stuff.
It's a great
Never.
point.
And they're even their indie games, they can be uh as much as or if not more expensive than Steam.
Yeah, they do tend to get the console markup.
So like Steam has sales all the time. So that's where I see like the biggest savings is like getting the Steam sales and on all these like smaller games and indie title games that are still amazingly fun, but for half the price.
Yeah.
I
And the
think
lack of
more.
goddamn Joy-Con drift.
Exactly.
Ugh.
gotta stop shoving it up
Seriously.
your ass.
Stop putting Joy-Cons in your butts.
And I
They
think
just drift up there.
I think for me, a big factor in determining if I would want to buy one or not is the Steam library that I already have. Right? Which of my games that I already have on my Steam account would I be able to port over?
I would like to see them do something like that, where they like kind of compartmentalize things that will run with little to no problems on this thing, and almost kind of like how Xbox Game Pass does it with the they have certain ones that they can play on cloud mobile that are just specifically like, okay, you can't play this one on cloud mobile because it's going to be too resource intensive, and then moving forward they make them known like that, as long as the resources don't require above this, our system will be able to run it on this mobile, so that way you can kind of at least get an idea of what you will be able to run, like what kind of program or not programs, but what kind of games will actually run optimal on this thing, and then not let you download the ones that aren't, so you don't burn up your machine and wreck it or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I wanted to mention is in terms of like a Switch competitor, I think Valve is probably the only company that really can do it. And I have two thoughts behind this. Sony, I mean, yeah, Sony has, the PlayStation, like the Vita, PSP.
PSP Vita.
Which are large, huge in Japan, but they don't really do much. Well, they don't do much here. And it looks like they're phasing that out anyways. They're phasing out their mobile department. A big problem that anyone's going to have, because we've talked about these like handheld PCs before, Alienware showed one off at CES a couple years ago. There's been a couple others. The problem is that those are hardware manufacturers doing it, and not hardware and game developers doing it. Right? Those companies are going to, those like the Alienwares of the world are going to rely on developers to create content that would work for that, rather than having their own in-house studio produce something that will work for it, right? So the content, Valve has the content creation team that can make something that's worth selling on there, similar to Half-Life Alyx for their VR system, right? That's part of like it's a selling point now. Yeah, we can create our own VR games. Go play Half-Life Alyx after you buy your $1,000 what is it, the Vive? Is that what it is? Yeah.
HTC Vive.
The HTC Vive, yep.
Remember HTC?
I was about to say, remember when those were a phone that actually people thought would compete?
And then they got swamped by Samsung in the Android market. So I think
memories.
2010.
Anybody else remember the Sony Ericsson?
I remember.
Anyone else remember the BlackBerry?
T-Mobile Sidekick flips the.
I was about to say.
No, yeah, I could see this actually. Yeah, I think having somebody like Valve backing it actually does make it. Yeah, I think it makes it better than say these like just standard hardware companies, because they will come together and actually develop this thing properly, I believe. Then
Hopefully.
you're gonna get a fucking team of like 4 independent developers that don't have really any footing come out and say they have a monopoly on the mobile department now. Wolfire Games. So I don't know why I'm holding a grudge over that. That was so stupid.
You gonna
Sensing a lot of hostility here.
you want to add him on Twitter? You can.
At me, bro.
So yeah, I mean that's kind of like where I'm at with it. I think it'll be hopefully be out by holidays next season. I haven't seen anything on what the MSRP is going to be. I'm going to speculate somewhere between $500 $600. I think this is going to be about the same price as whatever the Switch Pro is going to be. They haven't. One thing that the article mentioned was we don't even know if there's going to be a variety of these things. Right? Are they going to do a SteamPal Lite, a SteamPal, moderate, and a SteamPal, heavy duty? Like, we don't know anything about that. So I think if it's just going to be one, I think it's probably going to be the price of whatever, like the Switch, the Nintendo Switch Pro, which hasn't even been announced yet either. Which I'm going to assume is going to be like $100 more, $150 more than the standard Switch. So right in that, like $450 to $600 is where I'm going to speculate it's going to be at. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'd expect it to be like a higher end alternative to the Switch. Switch is like, Nintendo is so good at pricing their consoles to move. I think it's going to be hard to beat that price. So I think $500 is a safe estimate.
Yeah, and depending on what it could run, that could very well be worth that cost. Depending on what is available for it. I mean, like if you're only stuck playing, just indie games or something like that, or kind of like games that are
CS:GO
real low in, CS:GO and whatnot.
Yeah.
Then maybe maybe not, depending on how hardcore you are into CS:GO. But if you can like start running things like like say a more graphically intensive game like a Destiny or something like that, then it'd be a lot more fun. And imagine being able to actually play something like, because I mean you got to think about like your kind of like, what are they, the cross platform games, not cross platform per se, like Switch to
like third
whatever.
party?
Yeah, kind of like how you don't have to have Origin to play Apex anymore. You can play Apex on Steam. Can you play Apex on this thing and just run amok like all over your Nintendo Switch friends who can't play the game for shit? Stuff like that. And so I think there's going to be like a limit that's going to say, okay, this makes it worth it, this doesn't, and it's going to be a very fine line, because I believe that price is going to be kind of high.
Yeah, I can't make an assessment of like how the price will be until I actually see specs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
I'm
like,
actually,
hoping
you have
for
something to
500
say?
or less.
Yeah, my gut is I'm actually gonna. This might be unpopular. I'm gonna go like $7.99, $8.99 start price, just because I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of Gabe Newell and imagine like what kind of future am I creating and like what am I pitching here. Especially because if I don't have the supply lines that somebody like Nintendo has, knowing I'm gonna move like 50 million of these, if this is my first time developing like a full console since the Steam Link, and this is just like engineering wise a whole different barrel of monkeys. I'm really trying to think about, well, so what is the pitch? And I feel like you would lose a lot of your competitive advantage if you're not able to convincingly run some of those games, like Rev was mentioning, like Apex, because I very much. I don't know. I think my gut says they're going to go in that prestige route, like maybe no detachable controllers or motion controls or things, and just try to make it like this is the gamer's mobile console with a big honking battery, big honking graphics card, and a big honking price.
Yeah. I don't. I think I've ran out of thoughts on this.
I mean, it's all speculation at this point.
Yeah.
We'll see what we see when it actually gets announced.
I have an uncle who works at Steam who actually says that you could run Honey Pop on it in 4K, and so it's going to be really good, guys.
My dad works at Steam, so your account is also banned before you even play the game.
my uncle is Gay Ben himself. He's been telling us secrets at Christmas. Like, oh god, he'd be a great Santa Claus though.
The closest I ever got to that was my stepdad used to work for a company that like their whole business thing was that they manufactured machines for assembly lines, and they made some of the machines that assembled the Steam controller.
Ooh, that's really cool.
That's like the closest I've ever had to that. The other closest thing was his brother is a programmer, or was a programmer for a small game company called Monster Cat that like went under, and the most notable thing I think they worked on was the Guitar Hero DS game.
Oh God.
The one that had the Guitar Hero on tour.
Oh God, the one that had the little
game.
attachment.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they helped with like some like extra coding on that.
Mm-hmm.
That game ruled.
Well, you know what else rules?
Stand by it.
Anime games. Let's talk about some anime games you guys suggest people play, right? Because we got you. You guys are an anime podcast. Let's stay on brand here, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Henry, you got one lined up?
No. Well, I guess I've been playing Persona 5 recently. Before I got sucked into Returnal. But yeah, that's got like takes anime's style and applies it to like UI and like system screens and stuff to make it all really like readable and dynamic. Very, very exciting stuff going on there.
Persona is one of those games I've heard that you just like you start playing one of them, and that's it. Like you're just into them. Like that. Like you almost make it a personality.
I haven't gotten quite there yet, but it is very cool.
Yeah.
I think I beat the first dungeon.
And that took you 80 hours, right?
Oh, 100,000 hours. It ate my dad.
But 75 of those hours are spent eating cheeseburgers and going on dates, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Going to class.
Smooching on ladies.
To be young again.
Pax.
Yo, have y'all ever talked about Nier Automata? Like,
yo,
I have been eyeballing that for about 2 months now.
And what's kept you away from that?
I just haven't broken into that genre much. So
yeah.
Do
So
it.
Henry, you want to Jujutsu Kaisen dual team this with me?
Hell yeah. I remember borrowing Pax's copy of it in college for a week and playing through the entire thing. It is a incredibly rich, deep storyline. It's so good.
Yeah, and most people, I think, is the whole question of like anime games. I mean, they're mostly perfect, like My Hero Academia, The Strongest Hero, where there's very little to complain about. And Nier Automata is part of that same family, where legitimately looking at it, a lot of people go, "Oh, this looks like I would find this poster at Hot Topic. It's a bunch of like white-haired like twink looking characters and like gothic black leather like the Matrix. And so it might come with the anime tax, but I think that what blew my mind, because I was a little reticent to enter it too, especially because of how strange it is, but they pitch it to you as like, you will need to complete this game something like 6 times, and there's something like 26 endings, right? But Henry, can you like give a little context as to what that actually means?
All right, so you play through the game, you experience a very full, complete story, and then it throws you back, but you're playing through the same stuff, but as your side character who has the ability to hack into all of the robots that you're fighting, and so you get to experience the inside of their minds and get more of their personal story. You understand that you're actually not a very good person for killing all these robots. And then once you get to the ending again, it introduces a whole new story of new experiences. So while it sounds like, oh, I gotta play through this game to get endings A through Z, you're actually experiencing new things with each one. And like, not to spoil it, but the thing they do at the very end is very unique and like connects you to all the other players that have ever played the game in a way that you really can't experience with any other medium.
Sounds very twisty.
Well, it's unlike anything
100%.
else. And its theme is so strong because you're a android that the idea is you're on a base that's like orbiting the Earth, and they're like, hey, the Earth got like fucked up by robots like a million years ago, and the only people who live anymore on this one colony, we got to retake the Earth. And so they send out you, which is just an android, to go down there, just take out some of these toasters. But because you're an android, I think the whole core of this game is like, what does it mean to be human, and what does it mean to kind of exist in a relationship with other people? And so as you're building your character and slotting in new abilities, you can literally, to make room for a new sword technique, you could just take out the bit that gives you a mini map. You could take out the bit that lets you access the menu. You could even take out your core processing unit, and then suddenly, boom, it's game over. And that's one of the endings, is you accidentally killed yourself by taking out your unit.
You accidentally uninstalled your brain.
Yeah, and so what you have is a fantastic action game that is not at all you playing through the same game 6 times, because it changes and it changes and the story changes again and contextualizes it in completely different ways, to the point where playthrough number 3 is nothing like playthrough number 1, literally, in terms of content. Everything is totally new, but they call it new endings. And as you progress and progress and progress, that moment with what you can do with achievements at the end, Henry, that changed the way I looked at video games forever. It really did. Like,
yeah. It
really
really is like a galaxy brain moment right there at the finish line.
Yeah.
Did they sell you on it, Green?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'll keep an eye out for it on the summer sale, Steam summer sale.
Good call.
Because right now I'm not sure if like I'm on the fence. Because on Steam right now it's $39.99.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a tough sale for me.
I think they probably will put it on sale with the release of Nier Replicant. Like the re-release of the first Nier game, I think has brought more people to the thing, so it would be a good idea to try to sell more of Automata.
Green.
All right. I'm actually gonna steal this one from Rev. I've been playing this game in secret. I put it on my bedroom PC. It's Forgotten Anne.
Oh, you motherfucker!
That
That was the one I had.
It's gorgeous. It is
so good.
fantastic. It's a platforming, like anime art style game, but it's 2D platforming. It's great.
Featuring the voice of one Rachel Messer.
Exactly,
True.
and like
Come on the show, Rachel.
Come on the show, please. But the game is gorgeous. Like the art style, the music's great. I mean, there's not a whole lot to it. I mean, it's a platformer 2D style game, but like it's very story driven. There's like the cut scenes are fantastic. I haven't gotten much into it, like maybe an hour ish roughly. So yeah, I would recommend it. It's like it's cheap too. I think it's $19.99 on Steam right now. I would wait for a sale personally. But I mean, I paid full price for it. I'm not regretting it so far. So
Rev, you look a little salty.
I'm pissed. That was my one. I
sorry.
I have another on backup that I can go with.
I don't play very many anime games. So I'm sorry.
Well, here's what it is. I'll take it as a compliment because what happened was when I reviewed it, I made the game seem so goddamn good that Green felt that he had to play it.
It was like I was aiming more towards like a game that my fiance would like because the aim for the bedroom PC was for her to be able to play games while I'm playing games on my PC. Like let's say she wanted to play Among Us with me on a night where I'm streaming Among Us. So like I'm like this would be a great game for her because she loves story-driven games. She loved Gris on Nintendo Switch. She played Gris from Devolver.
Super good.
Yeah, so I'm like, Rev has talked about this game. He says it's fantastic. I download it. She hasn't even played it yet. I've played about an hour of it, and I fucking love it. So, like, eventually I'm going to buy it on my Steam account and then play it on stream because, like, it's fucking gorgeous. Love it. It's cute as shit.
All right, Rev, what's yours?
So I'm actually, as much as I can't get into it on like a bigger depth because of the fact that I have kind of a short attention span, doesn't take away from the fact that it's actually a pretty solid game. That's going to be the Danganronpa series. They're pretty good. The whole,
I love that.
yeah, the whole like you gotta kill your classmates or you gotta find out who the killer is or whatever. All that it's really really interesting and it's been so long since I even fired it up. The little bear, what's his name?
Monokuma.
Monokuma. Yeah. That guy. He's he's hilarious.
Shit.
But I do have another one though that's a little less known that I actually was a fan of. It's called Indivisible. It was put out by 505 Games. It's kind of set in like a RPG side scroller, very very similar to Forgotten Anne actually, but just a little bit more like smoother. But it's got like a turn-based battle system in it, and that one probably I would recommend from my own personal liking. But Danganronpa is a lot more popular, and Danganronpa goes on sale like cheap. I ended up picking up the whole series just like for like $15 because it was on such deep sale or something like that.
How do you spell that?
Danganronpa, DANGANRONPAA.
Okay.
I think so. I have them all. Oh, never mind. I hit them all, so I wouldn't tempt myself to get angry again.
Can
but
you
yeah.
use it in a sentence?
Danganronpa is a good game, but they're lengthy as hell. Like they can get very lengthy, and that's the only reason. Like they're good games. I just don't play them because I have a very short attention span. But yeah, so the one that I would recommend for my personal taste would be Indivisible. It's actually got a lot of whole different storytelling using like Southeast Asian mythologies and stuff. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. And if you want a recommendation of like a similar game to Danganronpa that's only like 5 to 10 hours, this game 999 is another sort of visual novel puzzle game that is really really smart and does really interesting things with decision making.
Especially if you have a DS and can find a copy of that, because the way that they play with the medium at the end there, with the two screens back and forth, it's just really fascinating experimentation. That's one thing I love about anime in general, is that it just allows you to explore worlds that straight up Western media has a hard time taking a leap on, just really insane big concepts. And it's why I find that there's so much experimentation that goes on, even in the sphere of games. Like the ending of Danganronpa 3, it is so meta, it broke my brain. It's like it throws everything in the entire series out in a way that I found outrageous. It was literally the boldest thing I've ever seen done with a series in terms of like how to end it and cap it off. And yet like they're willing to take these risks. And a lot of times you won't get that in Call of Duty 78 Advanced Warfare 4, like.
Question, is it like, so if I was to get that on say Steam, would it be the Zero Escape, the Nonary games?
Yes.
Would that be the same one? Okay.
Yeah, that's like the name of the whole series. 999 is the first one, and in my opinion, the best one. But Virtue's Last Reward is the second game, and it's also pretty damn good.
So this one comes with both of them, I'm assuming?
Probably.
Okay.
I would check. There was also a third one called like Zero Time Dilemma, which I heard was not very good, so I never picked it up. See if you can make sure you're getting 999 with
it. Yeah, it actually does say here. So if this is something like that you'd be interested in, the Nonary games is 999 and its sequel, Virtue's Last Reward.
Yep.
Awesome. I'll have to add that to my wish list and pick it up when it goes on sale. It is $30, and so I will probably go ahead and just add it to my wish list for now and wait for that Steam summer sale.
Yeah. So I've got two. I'm just going to kind of blow my load right away here. The first one is I Love You, Colonel Sanders, finger-licking good dating sim. And, you know, it's got everyone's favorite anime character, Colonel Sanders, who can beat Goku. Okay?
Fuck off.
Colonel Sanders Colonel Sanders will kill Goku. Not even a challenge.
He'd do it for free.
He'd do it for free.
Have you seen a burnt piece of Kentucky Fried Chicken?
That's what Goku's gonna look like, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Did you want original recipe or extra crispy?
My next one, I was kind of thinking about what anime games have I played? I'm like, I haven't actually
Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I haven't actually played that many recently. I'm like, yeah, I had a GameCube growing up, so I played the One Piece Pirate Party pack thing, which was basically just a Mario Party ripoff, but One Piece. I had the
Budokai Tenkaichi games were good.
What's that?
The Budokai Tenkaichi games were really good.
Yeah. And then I also thought about there's the Rave Master game, which was not good.
I haven't heard that name in forever, man. Wow, that's a throwback.
Yeah. I landed on the Naruto Ninja Council game for Game Boy Advance. You can probably find an emulator for it. It is a Metroidvania styled game. But it's also super fucking cheap. If you can, if you go on eBay, I saw it for like $10 to $15. So if you're looking for Game Boy Advance games or Naruto games, like if you're just collecting those things, it's not a bad one. It's not great. That's not bad.
It's a licensed property.
Yeah.
I also have it's not technically an anime style game, but it is like a feudal Japan 2D 2D platformer, like roguelike. I've been watching Indie Falco play it, and I'm really interested in picking it up. It's called Gitsu Fukuden Undying Moon, and it looks fantastic. The game is gorgeous, and apparently it's a sequel from like a 1987 arcade game.
I would like to say, for all intents and purposes and technicalities, any Pokemon game.
Technically, yeah. Yeah.
Very
Pokemon
fair.
Let's Go Pikachu, which is shit.
You can play with all 151 Pokemon.
Henry, you got anything else you want to mention for anime games people should play?
Oh dang it! I did have one in the back of my head, and it's gone now.
Hopefully,
I remember enjoying the Naruto fighting game for the GameCube. That was fun.
Was that a Ninja Storm? Was that what that was called?
No, I think that was the one that came later on like the PS3. There was something I completely forget.
Yeah,
it was over 10 years ago.
PAX.
Everything else is so slight and degenerate that like it would not be appropriate to recommend to a public audience. Like Henry, you would know the name like Euphoria and Song of Saya or Saya no Uda.
Song of Saya.
Yeah, things where some pretty extreme like visual novels that are maybe more for the after hours Patreon exclusive next to nothing stream. But I guess I do want to say, everyone out there, I know we're at the tail end of COVID, but a lot of people still haven't like contacted homies that they like miss and would like to hear from. Like give a homie a call, like text a friend you haven't heard from in a while, say something nice to them, make their day.
The best anime was the friends we made along the way.
I make that reference all the time. I love it.
It's a good reference.
Have you seen the game on Steam called Soul Worker yet? I've been keeping an eye on it. It's also an anime style game. I believe it's free to play, but I haven't made the jump to actually try it.
Sorry, Green. Jesus Christ is the only real soul worker. I don't support this heresy.
The reviews it released in October, and the reviews are mostly positive. So, but it looks like it does have a lot of fan service for the female characters. So that is my only hesitation.
What was the hold on one second. What was the name of this?
Soul Worker. SOULWORKER. Nope, no space, no
Rule
space, sir.
34.
Thank you.
I remembered the thing I had forgotten earlier. I've heard good things about the game 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. It's like if you mixed 999 or Virtue's Last Reward with like a tower defense tactics game.
What?
Yeah, it's on I think it's on PS4.
I just want to play video games so badly, but I have to work. Like life is so hard, man.
Life is a prison.
Yeah. I feel you, Pax. I feel you. By the way, and these two motherfuckers here are both full-time content creators, so I get to see them just load up a fucking game at like 11 a.m. on a fucking Monday.
Hey, now, it's not all fun and games, sir.
No, literally, that's all it is. It's all fun and games for you. Literally, it's fun and games.
There's editing and social media work. And
I waste so much time playing Apex Legends, dude.
So I think right now would probably be a good time to wrap up the show. Pax, Henry, tell the kind folks out there who you guys are, what you do, where people can find you. You guys can plug whatever you want. The stage is yours.
Hit it up, Henry. You got it.
All right, we are the Brotakus Anime Club. Please, 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 for the love of God, for everything that you believe in, please follow us on Twitter at Brotakus Podcast. We post good stuff on a daily basis. You'll love it. It'll be a great time. You won't regret it. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, on YouTube, anywhere you would possibly listen to an audio program. Search Brotakus Anime Club. You'll find us there, posting new nonsense and hot takes and bullshit good times every Thursday. We are still doing it on Thursday, right, Pax?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I've been good about
We
that.
do Thursday.
Yeah, and check out future upcoming episodes with Data Dave, with Princess Weeks. An interview with Anne Ishii is coming out this Thursday, who is a famous translator and producer. We got episode coming up with a historian who wrote a book on the African samurai Yasuke. We got a lot of great content in the pipeline, and so we are all about non-gatekeeping, enriching, giving you that good time, and making sure that we're all having fun. You know, you don't have to have a major in anime studies to enjoy it, and that's what we're all about at Brotakus.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, let me, real quick, any personal projects, any individual stuff that you guys want to plug real quick? Streams, YouTube, projects you're working on?
I just reviewed Spiral today. It's not very good.
Fuck!
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you for saving me time.
Yeah. I know that like cutting directly from intense action to credits is a series staple, but this was just not the movie to do it. I guffawed over the credits today. Yeah. Follow me on at Shankity Stick, like a stick with which you would shank someone.
Yep, and follow me at Pax Lilin. I have some video essays coming up because I am leaving my day job.
Yeah,
There's really exciting stuff in the pipeline, and everything's gonna be good. I don't know, y'all are so amazing. This has just been such positive vibes here. It's so great getting to meet y'all.
It has been a pleasure to have you guys on. You guys are a fucking blast, and you both have voices like velvet. Green, what's coming up on your channel?
I'm definitely gonna be playing some more Destiny 2. Probably gonna squeeze some Apex in there. A lot of TikTok editing because I've discovered that there is a very open niche on TikTok for Destiny lore. So I'm gonna start pushing more of that content. You can find my twitch.tv/MrGreenLeet. All the other socials, Twitch or Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all Mr. Green Elite, except for Instagram, which is TTV Mr. Green Elite, because someone stole my name. So, yeah.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Rev Sven, Padre, what's coming up on your channel?
What's up? Tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow I actually got something cool. I do got to disclose that I was provided the keys for this. But I'm actually like on Tiny Build's press list. So they sent me a free copy of Mayhem in Single Valley, which is their new the new game they just published. And like the next day, the Mayhem in Single Valley Twitter page sent me a key. So I'm going to be giving one of those away while playing that game tomorrow at noon. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing tomorrow night. I may revisit some Paladins. I haven't played Paladins in a long time. I'm getting an itch. But Saturday, Saturday we're doing Zebo's Funhouse again. We're going to be doing it, raising money for Anime for Humanity. This time it's going to be another fundraiser. Same incentives as the one we did literally last night, which was, masks if you donate $20 to the cause, spicy bean boozleds if you donate 10. Aside from that, I'm going to also be releasing some more content on YouTube because I have really slacked off. I got that partnership on YouTube, and I fucking was like, all right, cool, I'm done. And so I'm going to be putting out a video actually, but I'm going to be doing a quick bite on a new game from Vitas Games, the same people behind Archideltra and and Seraphixial from the Dreadx collections. They got a new game out and it's only like 20 to 40 minutes long, so I'm going to be putting that out on YouTube. Aside from that, man, I'm just going to kind of have to see how things go. Oh, you can find me at RevSpin TV, like everywhere on social medias, and then just like Twitch and YouTube is just RevSpin.
Dope. Coming up on my channel Friday, I'll be playing BioShock. Saturday night, probably be playing more Enlisted. It was an absolute blast to play last week. That or I'll probably go to Apex arenas. Not quite sure. Sunday night, I think Sundays are just going to be like our chill nights. So probably like Minecraft, Skyrim, or more than likely Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. As the obsession just continues to take hold of me. That'll probably be what I got going on. Stream-wise, I am working on a new podcast, a new music-focused podcast. I cannot tell you guys when it'll be released, but I have an interview with somebody this week who hint has been on Next to Nothing in the past.
I know who it is.
You want to take a guess?
Nick.
Fuck. I'm like, shit. Do I reveal? Yeah, I gotta. So I'm talking to Nick about his new band. By the way, guys, if you haven't listened to Bouquet yet, go listen to fucking Bouquet. God damn, Glisten is a fantastic track. Anyways, that's enough of my emo ass.
Save that one for the other podcast.
Yeah, that's for the
wrong podcast. Danny.
Wrong podcast. Because I can't get my, you can evidently.
You don't turn it off.
Yeah, you don't turn it off. So that's gonna wrap it up for the show this week, guys. You can find me on Twitter at Danny K. You can also find me on Instagram and YouTube at Danny K and Danny K Media respectively. The interview with Bouquet will go up on YouTube as well. Like I said, that's going to wrap it up. Don't forget our question of the week this week, which is, what game would you make your worst enemy play? Go on ahead and let us know in the comments, or you can tweet at us. If you guys missed any part of the show, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. Wherever you guys find us, podcast-wise, make sure you go find the Brotakus Anime Club. If you guys want to help support the show, you guys can leave a like on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment. But the best way, number one, top-tier way to help support the show is by telling your friends or retweeting us or anything like that. That does help more than you guys know, so we appreciate when you do it. Other than that, guys, stay safe. Have a great rest of your week. Keep fighting the good fight, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Goodbye.
Mwah. See this?